Stop scrolling, I don't have much time. Apple wants to ban this video. And kidding and jokes aside, I have no doubt that Apple would love to take down this entire channel if they could. Apple despises the usual suspects, like Google, Samsung, Facebook, Amazon, but more than all that, what Apple hates most is leaks. Something we cover on this channel sometimes, like in every single video. Apple usually ignores the leaks, but that isn't happening anymore. They're aggressively going after those who leak their deepest, darkest secrets, and may begin to subtly, or not so subtly, punish those who relay any Apple rumors. So let's talk about some of Apple's biggest leaks ever and what they're gonna do to stop all iPhone 15 leaks, new Mac leaks, and iPad leaks from ever happening again. To be honest, I'm a little worried, and love Apple or hate them, you should be too. This may come as a huge surprise to some of you. So, spoiler alert, Apple is an ultra-secretive, image-obsessed company that wants to have full control over every single thing that happens, both inside and outside of their Cupertino spaceship campus. And you can't really blame them. Being the most valuable company in the world means everyone always watches to see what you're gonna do next. And with a history of a visionary leader and hit product after hit product after hit product, there is a ton of pressure to not only live up to that hype, but to constantly surpass it. And with non-stop competition from companies like Samsung and Google, Apple not only needs to make amazing products that keep people in the Apple ecosystem and walled garden, but keep people coming back over and over and over again every single year. And as Apple has grown, so has their base of both fans and haters. And love Apple or hate them, everyone always wants to know what is coming next. What's Apple gonna change on the iPhone 15? Are they really gonna remove the port? Or what's gonna be the new design of the next MacBook or AirPods? What revolutionary product are they gonna show off at their upcoming event? Everyone always wants to know. Even the haters can't help themselves from watching Apple rumor videos like this one. And all of this demand for Apple News has led to dozens, if not hundreds, of blogs, websites, and of course YouTube channels dedicated to covering every single move Apple makes. Whether it's the release of a new phone, or the shipping status of a polishing cloth. I'm not kidding when I say every little thing they do is covered. And I'm not one to talk. I've been buying Apple products, unboxing Apple products, and reviewing Apple products for as long as I can remember. Yes, that is me, obsessing over Apple at like 12 or 13 years old. And over the years, as Apple has grown both in scale and popularity, there has been this constant battle between Apple and then the leaking and rumor community, because Apple wants to show off their products on their own timetable. And I totally understand why. You have teams who have dedicated nights, weekends, all of their professional and maybe some of their personal lives into making these amazing products, and they want to reveal them to the world in their very own way. Whether that's a live demo on stage or some sort of super sleek promo video, Apple wants to sort of unwrap this gift in their own way and on their own timetable, which unfortunately doesn't really happen much anymore these days, because more often than not, the surprise is usually spoiled. That's because whether Apple likes it or not, there's an entire business not only covering Apple and what they do, but all the things they might do in the next weeks or months or years. There's a whole community of Apple leaks and rumors following every little thing that Apple may or may not do. That's a network of well-connected journalists like Mark Gurman over at Bloomberg, who always seems to have scoops on what Apple could be doing next. Also people in the supply chain and analysts like Ming-Chi Kuo, who has rumor after rumor after rumor, who's more often than not usually right. And it's from all of these different sources that people who want to be in the know can know about the new stuff coming. Is Apple going to change the design? Are they going to introduce some new colors? What software feature could have leaked? Are they going to have some new notch on the MacBook Pro? It's thanks to this incredible leaking community that we're able to know all this stuff months, if not years, before it ever becomes official. And as you can probably imagine, Apple hates this for a couple of big reasons. One, like I mentioned, it spoils the surprise, but also, more and more often, it sort of sets unrealistic expectations. Like we get rumors that Apple's gonna do X, Y, and Z, and maybe they do X and Y, but they don't do Z, So then X and Y, while they might be great products or features, are sort of overshadowed by everybody wondering what happened to Z. This happens over and over again. And also, good rumors or bad rumors can have an actual tangible effect on Apple's business and their stock. It can drive stock prices up or down, whether they're rumored to be doing a good thing or a bad thing, whether it's going to happen or not. It can have a big effect on their bottom line. So in order to sort of keep the secret boat afloat, Apple needs to plug the hole. What's the wording? Loose lips sink ships? Why is that so hard to say? So what Apple needs to do is stop people from talking about it so it doesn't sort of bring the boat down and ruin all of the secrets that Apple is working to sort of reveal on their own timetable. So this means from the very inside, Apple is ultra strict on what their employees can or cannot tell anybody, whether that be the public, whether that be friends, even family members. Apple is very strict with ironclad NDAs. They don't want any information getting out from Apple themselves, and if you're on a team of people that has access to things and you leak information, you better believe not only are you going to be fired, but Apple is going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. We just saw this recently with an employee who allegedly leaked some info to journalists, and Apple took him to court and made sure they paid. But what's more common these days is that Apple leaks come from downstream in the supply chain, so to speak. So usually, sometimes it's from Apple employees, but usually it's not. Usually it's from people connected to Apple themselves or people in sort of the Apple pipeline. So it's people supplying the chips or the screens or other components to Apple manufacturers, telling people, hey, Apple just ordered a huge quantity of this or that, or hey, we have a big customer who's very interested in this technology. And a lot of that stuff comes out from different sources, or you've got journalists who are able to get a scoop. It's a lot of these downstream things that result in a lot of leaks, which is what Apple's obviously not only trying to stop, but has really moved Apple from playing offense to now playing defense. What I mean by this specifically is like just in the past couple of years, Apple has done more not only to stop the leaks from happening like in their own supply chain and from their own employees, but to punish those who may or may not be leaking information themselves. We just saw a couple of really talented concept artists and 3D animators and creators like Ben Gaskin and Concept Creator, who said they got contacted by Apple's legal teams or legal teams internationally representing Apple, telling them to stop creating any concepts on what could be an unreleased Apple product. Whether it's going to be real or not, they were ordered to stop those concepts they were making. You also had an ultra reliable leaker who was known as Kang, a very secretive person who says they were also contacted by Apple and were told to just stop leaking information, and whether that was a scare tactic or was a real threat, they agreed and have since halted any additional Apple leaks. And I'm curious where this extends next. We already know that Apple is very strict on who they decide to work with and who they don't work with. Obviously, if you cover leaks and rumors extensively, you're not going to be invited to an Apple event or get special hands-on time with a product. Personally, I'm curious if Apple's going to do more to crack down on the Apple leaking community, trying to stop those who just report on the info on blogs, websites, YouTube channels from even just, like I mentioned, reporting on the info. Whether it's true or not, Apple doesn't want that info out there. And one of the ways they may do this is by using copyright law to their advantage. For example, one of the things that's very common on YouTube and something we do on this channel all the time is use past Apple events or archival footage or old keynotes or old promo videos to illustrate what we're talking about. Whether it's the original iPhone launch from 2007 or the original iPad launch from 2010, or it's an Apple commercial or a new promo video, we use those all the time to illustrate the product or service we're talking about. And I can tell you from personal experience, there have been a few times that we have gone to upload videos for this channel that the video has gotten flagged in the upload process by YouTube for copyright infringement from a piece of an Apple commercial or an Apple clip we had used in the video. And that meant that either the video couldn't be monetized, which is really bad, the video couldn't be seen in all countries around the world, which is bad, or usually it's like a combination of both. And any sort of copyright infringement doesn't bode well for your channel sort of in the YouTube system. You get a couple of strikes and you were out of there. So you gotta be very careful with that. And another example of this is from someone who ran a really large Apple Archive YouTube channel who had their entire channel taken down because Apple issued multiple copyright claims against the content on their channel. Again, to be fair, this is Apple's content. They probably didn't have express permission to re-upload it, and that's a little bit different because that's just sort of re-uploading an entire clip, not really commenting on it, so There's a lot of legalities and different, weeds you could go into and stuff like that, but the case was Apple didn't like the content and they removed it. We also had some really useful resources like the unofficial Apple Archive that had dozens, if not hundreds, of Apple events and archival footage and commercials and assets that Apple just decided to remove from the internet because it violated their copyright. This is a great resource for students, for creators, for educators, but Apple decided to remove it because they obviously, for one reason or another, didn't like that content being out there in that form. I would personally not be at all surprised to see Apple take more steps to make reporting on this stuff more difficult, whether it's trying to shut down as many leaks as possible or going after the concepts that are floating around online, whether it's legal or not, whether it's right or not. It seems like this is heading in a direction that's going to be very interesting, especially for 2023, when the stakes are higher than they've ever been before. This is finally going to be the year when one of Apple's biggest products of all time, the headset, finally makes its debut. It's when the iPhone 15 is, according to rumors, supposed to get a major redesign with a brand new camera system, some new colors, and where Apple's gonna make some big changes to the 15 Pro, the 15 Ultra, and the regular non-Pro 15 iPhones. We also might get a whole new Mac model, some bigger screen versions of the MacBook Air, some bigger screen version iPads. A lot is gonna happen in 2023, and I'm very curious to see, as the leaks and rumors heat up, what Apple is gonna do to combat this. Are they gonna just let things go, status quo, sort of turn a blind eye and continue to work to make the best products ever? Or are they going to get more and more aggressive in stopping these leaks, stopping these rumors, and what is their next move gonna be? So I wanna turn the question to you guys. What are your thoughts on the whole Apple leak rumor debate debacle? Do you think Apple has the right to go after leaks and rumors and those who create concepts on Apple products that may or may not ever emerge? Do you think that Apple has the right to stop leaks and rumors on YouTube? Or do you think Apple needs to sort of stay in their lane, in a sense, put their heads down, create the best products ever, and sort of let the Apple universe exist as it is, because ultimately it just mainly comes from those who are excited, enthusiastic, and sort of draws more hype to them. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on Apple possibly taking down Apple YouTubers? Let me know your thoughts, all this stuff down below. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. I'm Robert Rosenfeld from the Apple Circle. I'll see you all in the next one.